Hey guys, welcome back. BGCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of July 29th, 2021. The current character challenge is Earth 2 Flash. That is a 1 week repeat. And the required characters for that are Cyborg, Flash, and Hawkgirl, who are bronze, and challenge gold, respectively. So, pretty crummy, right?
Yeah.
Because challenge gold, you have to have already been another challenge, so you've had to have been around for a while. It's basically impossible for a real new player to...
Or get really lucky in a challenge pack.
Get it, that's true.
Yeah.
So, his passive is Supersonic, which is the Flash or any other Earth 2 character has a chance to stun opponent on tag-in. All Flash's attacks crit against stunned opponents, and the Flash's special dilates time, so opponents are slowed for 8 seconds. He's got 1,350 attack, 1,350 health. He was last available in October of 2020.
So, what's to say about him? He's got really good high stats. Actually, now that the Blackest Night Flash is out, he's not even the best stat Flash, but he's a decent second, right? Because I think Blackest Night's 1,500 and 1,300.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love playing with the Flash characters. So...
Yeah, they're fast.
Yeah. So even if there's nothing else going on, he'd still be fun to play. Now, he's got 3 different abilities in his passive. The first part, so unlike other stuns on tag-in, this one actually does no damage, so it doesn't count as an attack.
Yeah, because most of the other ones deal 1.
Right. So, and the other ones, you can knock somebody out by just tagging them in. You see that in our Luchador Bane team composition, where when they have no health left, or they're basically damaged over time down to almost no health, or area effect like splash damage to no health, we tag them in, they'll get knocked out if they get stunned.
Mm-hmm.
But that also means that this stun from Earth 2 Flash can't be blocked or even avoided if it triggers. That's a problem, right? It's not consistently every time, and I'm not even sure how likely it is. I think, though, that if you're going to play that kind of game with Earth 2 Flash, and it makes a lot of sense, you want to use Cloak of Destiny, which has a tag-in chance of 20% and also boosts stun damage, or maybe even Electro Gauntlets, which also gives you a 30% chance of stun on tag-in.
Mm-hmm. Other
way you could lean into it would be gears that stun on special 1, like Nth Metal Morningstar or the Cryo Rifle. Now, if we were looking at just that ability in isolation, it would still be worth it. But his second ability lets you auto crit against someone stunned, which is great because that means you don't need to use up gear slots to boost crit chance. And the last one is sort of interesting. It's okay. It's not great. Dilating time is handy. The slowing the opponent is not as good as, say, Elseworld Flash's bullet time, which really slows the opponent.
Yeah, it just makes them a little sluggish in this case.
Yeah. But this happens with every special instead of just once per fight with Elseworld Flash. And it's still a little bit helpful in getting attacks in unblocked.
Yeah, it's a ability that's actually better if you don't have a way of getting your power back instantly, because it gives you a better chance of bringing it back up, right? In between. If you want to use special 1 over and over again, you could potentially have a secondary, him as a secondary specialist with some power gen gear, and then just earn his special ones while the time is dilated. Yeah.
It's almost too bad. Out of all the cards that are really good at stunning would be Static. If he were an Earth 2 card, that would be amazing. I don't know that there's any other Earth 2 card that has a guaranteed stun on special 1. Which is what you want. I think a lot of Batman have stun chance on special 1. He's excellent as a combination, the Flash is actually, with Earth 2 Hawkgirl, because she has a chance to stun on her specials and combo enders. And then when you use Earth 2 Flash to do that on her tag-ins too, that's great.
Yeah, just a lot more chances of twigging it.
And this is one thing I've never understood, is how seldom we see a Hawkgirl Prime in multiplayer, because she's great by removing or reducing the cooldown. Any character like Earth 2 Flash that has a passive that relies on tagging in, you tag in more often. It's great. So the important thing to note about this is it's the 19th week in a row of challenge characters following a pattern that originally showed up in May 2020. If the pattern holds, then Apocalypse Darkseid is next.
Yeah, so there we go. This week's multiplayer award is Arkham Origins Deadshot, and his ability is Trick Shot. And so part 1 is bullets from Deadshot's sniper rifle and wrist guns ricochet, dealing damage to all characters on the enemy team. And then part 2 is when Arkham allies are in combat, each 10 seconds, Deadshot will shoot the enemy with an electrified round, draining enemy power. He's got 1,450 attack and 1,250 health. He was last available in March of 2019. And so this, we talked about last week what our predictions were, right? This is weird. It's good, but it's one of the weird ones.
So there are a bunch of possibilities, right? Depending on looking at the patterns that happened before. If it was going to be a temporary interruption, Cassandra came Batgirl. Mm-hmm. If it was going to follow the last time Scarecrow's mask was in, it would have been Tantu Totem, but we said that was unlikely because Tantu Totem had been the week before.
Yeah, so Tantu Totem at this point was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And our third option that we gave last week was that if they're trying to pull in other things that have been missing, it would be this, right?
Right.
It would be Arkham Origins Deadshot.
Right.
But this one was interesting because when in the actual original pattern, it was Arkham Origins Deadshot, then Scarecrow's Mask.
Right.
And now it's Scarecrow's Mask and then Arkham Origins Deadshot in the week after. So the important bit is that it seems like they're trying to pull everything that wasn't in. It seems like they're trying to get all the content into the rotation.
We hope.
Because
if that's what's happening, then the best indicator would be that next week is Mother Box.
Yeah.
Because that was the one that was skipped for Ibistic. And if it goes to Mother Box and then back into Cassandra Came Batgirl, that's probably the best indicator that somebody on the dev side of things is actually trying to fix things so that the multiplayer cycle is complete.
Yeah.
And everything is coming around, and then we can have just a regular cycle that repeats.
Yeah, so we hope Mother Box next week. And then we hope Cassandra Came Batgirl the week after. But the thing is, we really honestly don't know at this point.
Right.
It could be pretty much anything. It could also be an entirely new cycle where it's just shuffled around. It seems like work, but we don't actually know how they code the cycles in.
Right.
So, putting it in and making sure everything's in the list, I don't actually know what the process is. So for all we know, it's easier to just randomize the order, right?
Right. So this is only his 5th season. That's a good indicator of just how long it's been since the last time. Like, there's not a lot of multiplayer rewards that have been so long, and it's been more than 2 years.
Yeah.
He's got really high stats. A couple of parts of his passive. The first part of his passive makes him just a great offensive character, right? It's not just basic damage, it's also specials. His tap attacks will shoot bullets, and both his specials have bullets. So both of them, all of them will give you splash damage.
Yeah.
And the way this tap combo works is the first hit is a punch, second hit is a shot from his wrist cannon, which gives you splash damage. And half the time, you will go into the third hit of his tap combo and then maybe get the combo ender. Mm-hmm. But the other half of the time, you can actually repeat, and you get his first and second hit again with another 50% chance of repeating. So you can get like an infinite tap combo.
Yeah. Unlikely that you'll get it enough to actually knock somebody out with one tap combo, but it's kind of a fun surprise.
Yeah. And the second part of his passive is way stronger than it seems because it can potentially drain, I think, 1.5 bars of power. So it drains as much as some of the special ones that are unblocked can drain, which is huge considering he doesn't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
Right. He just has to stay on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're facing him, it becomes even that much more important to finish fights quickly because 10 seconds is actually a long time. We've done a series of videos on him. We'll link it in the description. We've taken an approach where we've tried him in multiplayer as a basic damage dealer, as a special specialist, and then as a splash damage specialist. Mm-hmm. And one of the things actually that's not part of his passive that makes him so good is his Arkham status, which means that you can take advantage of Arkham Knight Batgirl as a teammate and just general Arkham synergy where other characters will benefit from the passive and so will he.
Mm-hmm. Also in the store now, we have the character bundle Woman of Power for $24.99 Canadian. It was $26.99 Canadian when it was last available in 2020. It's 1 week later than we expected.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be last week with the challenge,
cycle. So it comes with Arkham Knight Harley Quinn and New 52 Wonder Woman. We also have the Alien Invasion pack for $24.99 Canadian. And again, it was $26.99 Canadian when we last saw it in 2020. And that comes with Lobo, Martian Manhunter, and Darkseid. So, one of them comes with 2, one of them comes with 3. It's interesting. The way that the money and stuff works out. Sometimes, a pack almost seems like it's on the edge of being a good deal. Yeah. But clearly the way that they price it is sort of arbitrary.
Yeah. Although I wonder, because the part that we ignore is the gears, the signature gears that come with it. And I wonder if they're feeling that the 2 signature gears that you get in the Women of Power pack makes up for 1 less character.
Maybe. Yeah. We also have the Aquaman Celebration pack for 300 nth metal. It was last available. It's been available once this year and then once last year too. I think at the end of last year. And so it gives you a 50% chance of an Aquaman split equally between Aquaman Prime, Flashpoint Aquaman, Injustice 2, and Regime. And
so 2 great ones and 2
Yeah, and so there's the 1 in 8 chance of each. And you also have a 50% chance for like a quote unquote gold character.
Right.
So
it seems like they did these nth metal packs back at the end of last year, then there's a big gap, and now they've done a cycle through all of them. So Aquaman, Shazam, Joker, and now almost immediately after Joker, they're coming back to Aquaman.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a regular rotation of nth metal packs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. We're going to see what happens next week.
Mm-hmm. And we also have the Apocalypse Darkseid Challenge Pack for 200,000 power credits. That's the clue to next week. It's not worth it because you're just about to get a chance to earn them. Just as we've done the math before, it's better to get the regular challenge pack for 50,000 credits less, unless this is pretty much the only character you want.
Right.
Unless you have like 1, maybe 2 characters that you want, the extra chance of getting him is not actually better. Assuming that you keep any other character that you get that's not him, versus just selling all of them no matter who you get.
Right. Our survivor this week is League of Assassins gear until the 11th of August. Phantom Zone is still finished and not back yet. Fight 62 is still broken. Last weekend's breakthrough was Cyborg, Batgirl, and Black Adam. So this coming weekend is probably Deadshot, Wonder Woman, and Static. And there's a link in the description to a thread in the subreddit for Injustice Mobile from Devlin16 that goes over the complete breakthrough cycle. We'll link that in the description.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to current glitches, just remember we have full tutorial videos in the playlist that we link in the eye in the top right corner of this video and in the description. If you are looking to actually do any of the glitches we mentioned here, we're not going to give you enough detail to do them yourself. So, starting off with the not working glitches, stuff that you used to be able to do or that you might want to do, there is nothing for power credits that we're willing to endorse or that we're sure works anymore, because we don't really follow the other one with the update. And so we talk about why in Season 6, Episode 9 of our P&Q and CNANT, why we don't endorse it, but the important part is that it's risky. We think it's risky, so we're not willing to put our name behind it or do it on our own accounts.
Right.
Other stuff that you might want to do that you can't, getting repeated past multiplayer season rewards, getting early multiplayer season rewards in an exploitable way. You can by accident, but it's actually not great. Nothing to get through the Phantom Zone supernaturally quickly, and you can't skip the ad but still get the energy from the watch video button.
Yeah. So working glitches, like you mentioned, it's all explained in the video, but just certain things to point out to remind you of.
Yeah, especially if you're not on Android 9, if you're on iOS or later versions of Android.
So challenge reset method has been confirmed working on the current Earth 2 Flash challenge. Just remember it's the same as the Phantom Zone glitch to reset the Phantom Zone progress. And that's important when the Phantom Zone is around, just because you get used to just resetting the challenge. Mm-hmm. You're resetting the progress of both. It's essentially the same glitch. Mm-hmm. And if you are on Android 10, there's a comment that we cut and pasted in the description about how you can avoid about a gig of downloading again if you just move some files around. And also a comment from a viewer on how to reset the challenge for iOS. Mm-hmm.
The breakthrough glitch, let you play it repeatedly, is still working. The airplane mode / refund glitch is still working. That's good for packs with random drops and last laugh tickets. Doesn't work in Phantom Zone because that requires an online connection. It's just any reward that you don't need online for. So the other thing that it wouldn't work for is a purchase from the store if you're paying real money too.
Right.
Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges, as always, before you sort of get back to playing as normal. Once you've got the energy or the play reloaded, set your clock back to what it was before.
Right.
Just so that you don't screw anything up with like the challenges or any of the other timed stuff.
Yeah. And if you're wondering why the promotion glitch is still there, it's there because it hasn't failed us yet when the conditions are right. The problem is the conditions haven't been right for a few years now. But we will leave that in there until it fails us just the one time when it was supposed to be working. But because it hasn't done that yet.
And that is all for the content. We have some lovely people that we would love to thank. And that's all the people who support us on Patreon. We super appreciate your support. So that's a huge, huge thank you to Victor Gomez, Console Peasant, and Edwoon, who are supporting us at the top tier last word. Sinemac, Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier. That's 2 people. I said it again where I didn't say the and. I just read the column in my head. So that's Sinemac and Mohammed Albshaiti as 2 individuals. Then we have Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, and Eddydoo, who are supporting us on the credited level. Last but not least, Chris Wolff, Scarlet Dani, Awesomegamer 241, Pavu RS, Gavin, Mallott, and Isfar E, the gratitude level. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you next time. Komoda.